Welcome to the Life with Kring on Air, a podcast about purpose, parenting, and people. In here, we hope to talk and collaborate on how to thrive in the 30s with your 30 something host, Trisha Julio.
Hello, friends! Welcome to another episode of Life with Kring on Air. Today, we are going to start talking about something that is in the tagline thriving in the 30s. Since it's a very broad topic and we are still in progress with this season, we will talk about one topic for every episode. For this episode, we will talk about things that we should start doing in our 30s. And that is start surrounding ourselves with the right people. Before that, we would like to thank again for all your support. The podcast is available in 6 platforms now, which will be mentioned at the end of this episode. For suggestions and comments, please visit lifewithkring.wordpress.com and comment on the About page about what you think. Anything is welcome. To give you an idea of what you will be listening today, here's an overview. I will be talking about the organizations that I have been and will be part of that will help me achieve my 30s goal of surrounding myself with the right people. But before that, let's check first who are the right people to surround ourselves with in our 30s. So let's go to my favorite activity before I start anything, and that is to ask Google. So I type in who are the right people to surround yourselves in your 30s. So there are a lot of results and but there's nothing that answers to the thing that I type, but there are questions here like who you surround yourself with is who you become. Quote. There's a quote about it. Then why should you do what you do in your 30s? How do you choose the right person in your life? Can I turn my life around at 30? How can I surround myself with positive energy? Why do we choose to surround ourselves with? So it's actually pretty vague, but I'd like to open this why you surround yourself with quote. So it says, who and what we surround ourselves with is who and what we become. Yep. So right now, in our 20s, it's always about birds with the same feather flock together. But right now, in our 30s, we should always be careful with who we surround ourselves with. So this is the time that we do away with all the 20 activities like if you are fond of gossiping about other people, talking about people. I've before I have always been comfortable about talking with about other people since for me I always want to talk about myself. So it's actually a bad thing because it's the narcissistic side of me. But right now I do away from talking about other people, especially if it's bad. But it's actually okay to talk about other people if it's a good thing. But if you notice that it's already a bad thing, like it becomes a gossip. I know you also feel that if it makes you uncomfortable, then that's already a gossip. So do away with it. It's not something that you should be putting your energy on right now when you are in the 30s. There's a lot of things that we should be focusing on, and that is not on people. So right now, choose to be with the people who makes you wish to be more, not makes you bash other people. So that's it. And then next, according to Forbes.com, so It's widely known that one of the best ways to improve on a skill is to practice it with someone who's better than you. So it's good that we surround ourselves with the people that we want to become. Like for me, I am a budding I'm still, although I have been into a lot of leadership roles, but I still want to grow a lot when it comes to leadership. And honestly, in all my experiences, I haven't had someone really who mentors me. So I've always been doing it all on my own. And there are some people who actually give me feedbacks, but not really on level that I can call mentoring. But right now I'm open to mentoring. Like I seek out mentorship in my company, and also I now ask feedback from friends who are higher than me in position in the company, although we are in the same age, because I want to be mentored. I want to know what they are doing so that I could improve myself. It's I don't actually think that I'm at this point right now that I'm what do you call it, that I lack something, but I know I can be improved. So right now I am seeking out ways on how to be a better version of myself, and that is to actively surround myself with the people that I want to become. And and also for the next for the next point, for medium.com, there are two types of people in this world: that people who shine and people who drain. First, the people who shine, they are not just happily smiley people with perfect teeth. I don't have perfect teeth, sorry to say. People who shine are light, and by light, I mean self aware, aware of themselves, and how their actions, words, and energy impact others. All three: behavior, words, and energy. Yeah, I agree with this writer. And I think I'm a bit nabukol with this because for it's always been a an active discussion with Migo and I, that how I I am very I don't have that self-awareness, a lot of self-awareness yet. I tend to just say what I want to say and do what I want to do without really what do you call that, without really thinking of all the possibilities, especially that I'm always the go 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 person, and I always just do what I want to do because I believe that God will just support me. But now I realize that um it's just actually different when you are aware with yourself. So you have self-awareness, and then you are aware with your surrounding. So to help me not to become people who drain, I should focus on these three: behavior, words, and energy. So let's go to the people who drain. So people who drain have low awareness. So maybe I'm in the middle. Yeah, we'll think about it. They need to be the center of attention. Ouch. I think I am this long ago, but not right now. It's always, oh, they always make it about them. They send you a long text about every detail of their life. Thank God I don't have text anymore. They are needy. Thank God. Always late. Oh my God. Thank God. Hijack conversations. Sometimes I do this. Then love drama. Thank God I don't love drama anymore. They talk shit about others. I may be a self centered person before, but if there's one thing that my neighbors had taught me, that is to never talk shit about others. Because I grew up in an environment of gossip. I really hated it. That I thought to myself that when I grow up, I don't want to talk about others because it's not. helping, talking endless drama about other people is just not helping. Why would you talk about others when you have a lot of things to talk about yourselves? Duh. Well, anyways, they are insecure, angry, and unhappy. Thank God I'm not this. But more importantly, don't do anything about it. They possess a fixed mindset and see themselves as victims. Oh, they suck your energy and drain you by bringing you down with them. I actually very much agree to this author. I have been this person before, and that's why maybe I just tend to be before I just tend to surround myself with the kind of person that I am before, because right now I it has been my awesome status report that thankfully, um with Migo's help, with God's help, with the people that I have been with, thankfully I am slowly changing from people who drain into people who shine. And it's not gonna stop. It's a constant learning every day, just to always let your light shine, and just to always focus on others, not on yourself. Hello, friends! Welcome to another episode of Life with Kring on Air. This is a test episode. I'm using a Bluetooth microphone so that I could podcast while I'm cooking our lunch. It's already 1:30 p.m. and I'm still preparing our lunch, but it's okay since we have a late breakfast. And today is pretty busy for me because I started the day with a life group session with my wife's life group. So it started around 8:30 a.m. and then we were supposed to be done around 12, but since I have another activity at 10 a.m., so I just went ahead, and right now I'm putting the aromatics for my giniling. So I'm cooking. This is just a quick lunch, by the way. This is giniling. And I won't be using my air fryer maybe today because I haven't thought of what to cook at dinner yet. So, okay. And by the way, since the giniling has its own oil already, I'm just using its oil to cook the aromatics, and then I'm no longer using the another oil just to cook for it. So what I did was defrost the giniling in the microwave, and then the oils I use it to fry for the aromatics, and then after the aromatics I'm gonna add the giniling back. So I'm doing this to make the giniling less oily. Since we all know it's very oily, and if we have to add more oils just to ginisa the aromatics, it will make it more oily and less healthy. Although we can't really we can't really make sure, or what, it's hard for us to always cook healthy nowadays, and we have to live within our means, so we just have to do what we have to do. Okay, so the giniling is here now. After this, I'm gonna add potato. So this is just a makeshift dish. I'm not really following any recipe for this. I just look at what we have in our pantry and create a dish out of it. So thank God I have now the confidence to make something out of just anything. Thank you, Lord, for that. Oh, wow, it's so nice. I could actually record away from my computer and then talk, and then the Bluetooth mic will be able to record what I'm talking about. So this is a new thing for me. As you may have remembered, I just launched this podcast last weekend, I think, last Sunday. So as a recall, I was inspired by a podcast of a woman in Manila, Adulting with Joy Spring. So when I hear her podcast, I was inspired to create mine. So as of this talk, it's my fifth episode because it's very busy over the weekdays, and today is Saturday, so I have time to insert some talking while cooking, but it's still a busy Saturday for me. Um, Going back to what I'm talking about, so this morning I have a life group with my wives. So it was another empowering and touching moment for me. It always is when I reconnect and bond with my sisters in Christ. And I love it that they always teach me how teach me and remind me to always be humble and always thank God for everything. So as a little overview of who they are and why I'm with them. So last 2016, I was introduced to born again Christianity. So it's a funny thing how I become a born again Christian, but I'm so thankful to God because of the learnings and the realizations that I have gathered and continuously learning every day, especially with my born again community in City Church. And my wife life group has been instrumental in that change. So I started in 2016 and had my dedication or baptism, public baptism on June of 2017, specifically June 3, 2017. So it's a sentimental occasion for me because it's my birthday in Christ. So I shared that birthday with my friend Gams. So aside from being a colleague before, right now we are no longer colleague, but we are sisters in Christ, and we have the same birthday in Christ. So there. Then after in October of 2017, there's a activity in our church that whenever for the new Christian, for the baby Christians, we are connected to a life group to help us in our walk with Christ. And for me, it helps me a lot to be surrounded with supportive sisters in Christ. Even though at first I'm a little bit what do you call this? I can't connect them to a level that I want to connect. And because although I'm a wife that time in 2017, I don't have a baby. And thank God for my husband. He's very supportive in everything that I do. And and it's not really unfortunate for some of my wives, because God has blessed them with, what do you call this? I don't know what, but opposite of Migo. So there, and then hearing their stories makes me a little out of place. So on my first day with them, they kind of introduced themselves and told me things and about how they are as a wife and then as a family, and how their husbands are. And on the first meeting, it kind of, makes me think that I seem to be out of place, because I couldn't actually help them, because I just been married for 2 years and they are like married for 15 to those years. So I was the youngest in the life group. And as for me, I always wanted to contribute. And and thinking about it in 2017, because I am very new, I'm a new wife. I'm thinking that I couldn't really contribute anything to them, because I'm just a baby wife, and they have been to a lot already. And but God was just awesome with me, and they are awesome as well for making me feel like I still belong, even though I am a young wife with no children and with a supportive husband. I still belong. And true enough, these wives of mine have been with me through all the milestones of my wifely journey. So, and they have been very awesome in their inputs, especially in understanding my husband better, because they don't have that kind of support with their husband. So whenever I feel a little down with Migo, they will just remind me, Kring, you are at a place of blessing. So give Migo the kind of support that he has been giving you. So yep, that's the support I have with my wives. And fast forward to now. So this October we will be celebrating our our third anniversary with me. And I kind of think that our friendship has go well beyond the life group thing. And for that, I'm just thankful I have them to help me in my growth with Christ, and to always make me grounded and connected to my source, and that is Jesus Christ. That whatever I do and whatever it is that the world has thrown me, or a lot of things that's going on, I could always go back to my source and connect and share to my wives the blessings and goodness that God has been giving me. And I thank them for their patience and for understanding, and for always helping me grow in terms of my walk with Christ, and in terms of my of how should Christ be to those people around me. So they are really expanding my view on being a wife, being a mom, and to touch more people in a way that I have never done before. Because I have always been, I hate that part, to be a narcissist, but I have always been self focused. But being with them, It opened me to a whole new side of listening more, and then of knowing what to speak of because I'm young, and because we have different situations in life, and especially with our relationship to our husband. I have been i have learned to be careful with what I say, and to just be self-aware whenever I'm talking to them, and to always appreciate everything that God has blessed me with, and to always see the silver lining in everything. So I thank God for my first connection today, and that is my wife's life group. Time check, 3:15 p.m., and this is the third segment of my podcast today. And for the first part, I just talked about how happy I was attending our wives life group this morning from 8 to 10 a.m. And it was supposed to be until 12, but since I have another activity at 10 a.m., I cut short my participation, but still I have gotten something out of it, and is very thankful I'm part of a supportive community of sisters, of wives who empowers and who always remind me to be humble and to thank God with whatever circumstances that we have. So thank you, sisters, and till our next life group session on the fourth Saturday of August. We are doing our life group for second and fourth Saturday of every month. And actually uh it's a life group from our church, but our life group is open to new joiners. So yep, if you're interested to be part of a supportive community who will help you in your walk with Christ and in your adjustment to dealing with your husband. So do message me and I could invite you in. We're just a group of 10, and most of the time 10 to 15, but most of the time in our life group we're only around 8, 8, mostly 8, and then 10. Then you are not a bother if you do decide to be part of our little community. So that is it for my wife's life group. And to continue, I'm going to talk about my next event this morning, and that is our pre plenary activity for our corporate citizenship FY21 planning. So I actually have second thoughts of attending because it was in conflict with my wife's life group, and I already communicated to the coordinator that I won't be joining because it for always my priority is my spiritual life, and that is connecting with my sisters. But after communicating with our life group leader, uh, she's just okay with it. And besides, like we're not really, what do you call this, mandatory to attend our life group. But as for me, I always communicate to my leader, especially if I'm not around to attend life groups, so that she knows that I'm still in God's awesomeness, and they won't be missing me. So that's it. So since I was able to cut short our life group, I was able to attend this equally awesome event as well. And I thank God that I was able to attend because it opened my mind to the awesomeness that I once wanted when I joined the company in 2017. So As I recall, I was in the company for wait, around 2 years. Uh 3 years in September. So I rolled into the company in September 2017, and since I'm very active in since I'm very active in my previous company with employee engagement, and no, and I didn't even think that I would transfer, but but here I am, and here I was in 2017. A blessing came upon me. I was hired into my company now, and it's 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 actually surprising for me. The journey to the transition from the previous company to this new company is actually surprising, because I didn't apply for the job, and I I am actually contented, and the previous company was like my comfort zone. I'm very comfortable in it. I've been with the company, my previous company, for 6 years, and they're very supportive in my growth, especially with my passion, and that is people. So when the news, or when the blessing came in, that I really can't say no to, because I needed the raise, I needed the money actually, because in 2017 my mom was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So she was put into an institution, and we need to have money to fund the thing. So yeah, and then I needed the extra raise, and although although I didn't apply for a new job, I'm just thankful that God provided it to me, and who am I to say no? So despite the heartaches, yeah, it's actually I don't um I hate to say goodbye. One of the things that I don't like is saying goodbye, and cutting anything short, and I have a lot of plans for that. Was July, right? So July, it's actually the start of our I have been a part of an organization there, a women organization, and July is our refreshing month. So it's our kickoff month for the first fiscal to another winning year. So imagine my heartache when I had to tell them that uh instead of refreshing my year with them, I have to let them go. So it's a bit heartening for me. It's painful, and but I'm thankful thinking about it right now, right this very moment. I was just thankful that even though it's hurting, even though it hurt me, I obey to what is God is telling me, because from 2017 until now, there's just awesomeness. And I believe that God has really brought me to this new company for a purpose. And I believe that the thing that the event that I have attended this morning for 2 hours was one of those reasons. And I may have postponed it for a while, because in 2018, God gave us Onyara, and in 2019, God gave me motherhood. So, and this 2020, everything was just okay. Like, the motherhood has been great, and the parenting is awesome with my very awesome husband, who is dancing beside me right now and kind of garbling my talk. But I'm just gonna continue. I won't mind him. So, and as well, so I think everything is aligned already in 2020. So It's as if God is telling me, Kring, you don't have a reason to put this out anymore. So I have been patient with you. Now you have to go and step into your purpose. So that is what happened. And that is how I feel after listening to all those plans from all different clusters and just being around those awesome people. It's just super, super duper, what do you call this, empowering to be around those people, to just learn that there are these people, that they are the people who make a difference in the lives of our company, the lives of the employees in our company. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And I think especially our Cebu coordinator who encouraged me and who always give feedback whenever I have plans. And especially, I want to thank my new core team, especially my sister, my DSO lead as well, my sister in DSO. So thank you for joining me here, and also to the new ladies, new friends that I have gathered along the way. So right now we are eight. We are eight core team, and FY21 is a big thing for us. Like we have a lot of things planned. I could just blubber my way through that plan, but we have everything lined lined up now. And because I have learned a lot from being a member with women in NCR, from being a member down to being a BOD, and then eventually when I in 2016 I become the president, and then so I've learned a lot from all those years. And in starting this new community, I have applied everything, and there were good feedbacks, and I thank them for the feedback, and also for always and always supporting me in my crazy ideas. And although it's hard since we're just starting, but I'm praying and hoping that we could really make it through FY21, and that would kick off next month. Our fiscal year will start on September, and we have all these activities aligned. But since the women organization is pretty new, I our focus would mainly the first focus is to skill up our women. So because I believe that we cannot give what we don't have. So for the first 2 quarters, and that is half of FY21, our activities would mainly be skilling up our women. And that is to give them confidence and give them the the platform to be themselves, so that when they are already comfortable with who and what they can share, they will be they will be ecstatic and are very willing to share in the second half of the year. So that's our main theme for FY21. And right now, since due to COVID, most of our volunteering activities is already online. The 3 locations, Manila, Cebu, and that's us, and Ilocos will be joining forces. So imagine the awesomeness of it all. So so today we are sharing each of our plans with all the other women in Manila and Ilocos, and then together we planned for a merger. And it was just so awesome because Cebu is like, because we are new, most of our activities is geared towards skilling up the women. And Manila, since they have been doing it for a while now, most of their activity is geared towards the community. So when they merge into one, we have a plan that's both empowering to the volunteers and as well to our beneficiaries. So that's just so awesome to be thinking about these things, even though we haven't planned it like like Cebu, you would focus on this side, and in Manila you focus on this, but it just happened. And I believe that things doesn't happen for a reason, and I thank God for his guidance in all of it. So today was just so awesome, and I look forward to a rocking FY21 for corporate citizenship in my company right now. And as for you, this wouldn't be the first that that I'll be talking about this adventure. So hopefully, I would I can share to you my status report on this women organization, on this corporate citizenship, and hopefully you can help me pray that whatever I did, for those of you who have been with me in my previous company, in the women organization that I was in, I hope you could actually cheer me on. It's harder this time, ladies. It's a different world out here, and I just wish that you could say something empowering to me right now, like, Ring, you can do this, you've always done this, and something like that. I really need it. Yeah, I'm always been, like the super empowered Ring, but sometimes I also feel down, especially if I don't get the kind of response that I want to have. And and yeah, and also, although I have God who's always been firing me up to do his business, making a difference in the life of a lot of people, but it always also makes a difference the if the people that I intend to do it with also appreciates my effort. So for you, you could tell me something if you have inputs. I'm always listening. And that is all for today. So I'll wrap it up in a while, but before that, let me before the wrap up, I would like to thank everyone who supported and listened to my blabberings, and I thank you for listening to it. So the first platform that I started my podcast with is the Buzzsprout. So um it was awesome. It started around 5 listeners, and then eventually the last it goes up to 30. I know you are all my friends, or maybe just random strangers, who knows, but if you're my friends, thank you so much. And if you're not my friend, if you want to know me more and if you want to connect, I'd be very happy to accommodate you, and just share anything if what I'm saying makes sense to you, or right, what do you mean? What do you how can I say it uh just never mind. Basta parang it awakens something in you. Just tell me about it. So yeah, and I do hope you would continue to support me and be with me with this new adventure on podcasting. And also, I'd like to announce that since I started in Buzzsprout, I actually found out a new platform that is free, and that is Anchor. So it's a podcasting platform as well, and it's free. It's totally free, and and I don't know why I stumbled on the not free platform first. It's maybe because when I do something, especially when I do Google, the first what do you call it? The first search result that I can see would be that. And when I search into it, the husband commented, Miga. Usually in Google, the first search result is the ad. And even though I'm an IT, I actually don't concern myself on these things. So today, and I mean, so this time, I, whenever I'm searching right now, I make it a point to check that the first result is not an ad. So to, to not do again what I'm doing right now. So it's actually not that big. So but for those people who followed my Bass Sprout, uh or who listen to my Bass Sprout podcast, you could transfer to Anchor. I am sharing the links in my social media channels. And right now, thankfully, on the first night that I uploaded my podcast in Anchor, the morning after that, it's already available in Spotify, which got me very uh, not really confused in a good way, because I actually thought that it's harder for my podcast, because it's new. It's harder for my podcast to be available in Spotify, but thank God it's available in Spotify. So for those of you who want to listen, so it's available in Spotify right now. Aside from Spotify, it's also available in Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, if you're familiar with it, Radio Public, and Spotify. So it's available for a lot of platforms right now, and there's also an RSS if you are still you're still using a platform that will take in RSS. So, and also aside from these podcast platforms, I'm also sharing it in my Facebook, which is mainly sometimes on my personal profile, but mostly in our page, Migo and Miga page. So I'm sharing it there. And also in my YouTube. So I have a YouTube. So I also share the podcast there. And a link in my, I also added a link in my, uh, what do you call this? In my blog. So yeah, so I'm actually in a lot of social media platforms, and also I have a blog, an internal company blog. So I'm also sharing it there. So yep. Wh- Why am I sharing this to all these platforms? Because it's not actually hard on my part to share, but to share on these platforms, but because I want to be available in all the platforms so that I could reach a lot of people, and maybe, just maybe, my words will be of help to them. So no matter where you are and no matter how you're feeling, if you just want someone to talk to, you can just message me and just say something. So yeah, I think that is all. Thank you so much for supporting. And please, 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 if you have a topic in mind and if you think your my blubberings could be of help to someone, just share my link to them. So thank you so much again for listening, and ta-da!
To wrap this up, surrounding yourself with the right people is very important, but it's also important to keep and nurture the good connections that you have right now. If you have bad connections as well, don't worry about it. Let God handle that. As for me, it just happened naturally. Bad connections will not thrive in God's ground. As usual, thank you for listening. God bless you always. And remember, put God first and the rest will follow. Before closing, I would like to personally thank everyone for the kind words and feedback. Have a good Saturday and a blessed weekend ahead. Bye bye! This episode of Life with Kring on Air was brought to you with love and prayers. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to hear more, please subscribe and share what you think at lifewithgraying.wordpress.com. And as always, have a blessed day and remember that we are not made to survive, but we were made to thrive. Happy thriving, friends!